Alright guys, welcome back to a brand new EKo CBG video. This time, for the first time, face to face, you guys are going to see our boy, our man, NaruSamurai, coming over from his channel, where we end up having a little bit of a discussion about OverDress. We were talking through things like, the new changes from clans to nation, the 3-format mechanic, or the 3-format system we're going to have going forward, and a few other things we discussed over on his channel, over on twitch.tv, or not twitch.tv, over on YouTube, on NaruSamurai. Links to everything in the description. You guys know it's not an EKo CBG video if we don't mess up at some point. So hey, at least you know we ain't scripted. So, I was saying, Naru, do you wanna introduce yourself to the guys? Because I know everybody knows you, especially from Twitch.
Yeah.
But
So anybody that came on in from my other channel, welcome back, and we're going to be continuing our discussion. But yeah, my name is NaruSamurai. You can see all my links down below. Overall, it's right there. I run, the NaruSamurai dojo. It's a little bit like a fun on-theme joke, as well as we have EKo's ASMR voice over here talking on his channel.
Hey.
So EKo, as we go into more of the questions from my past stream, I guess what I want to ask you is, we're going into the collab sets. We got Token Rambo and Monster Capture. Is that it?
Monster Strike.
Monster Strike. So what are your opinions on it, that we're getting some collab sets back again? And further ones down the line, we may get Bang Dream, but overall, what's your views on it? Would you be touching them at all?
So personally, not myself, because I know I'm not particularly attached to any of them. But I think the interesting part as well is that, given Token Rampo, we've gone parts of it in the past, and Monster Strike being a primarily Japanese franchise, at least with Bang Dream, you could make the argument that it exists in the West in terms of the mobile game that obviously has been doing fairly well. But with something like Monster Strike, where we don't necessarily have any involvement with it in the future, I think they might end up taking the time to effectively, while Japan is getting these collaboration sets, we could be getting our Western exclusive premium product, which was confirmed this week. So I think that might be a way for them to bridge the gap, or fill in space, I suppose. Or alternatively, the interesting part as well is because we know they're good, because with Bushiroad owning Weishwartz, they're able to effectively have a limitless supply of collab sets if they wanted them. So it's realistically they could collab with almost anything their heart desires. And
That's true. We can get anything from the most ridiculous ideas, like Log Horizon coming into. It's gonna be the case.
If somebody brings SAO into Vanguard, I swear to God, I'm quitting.
Well, the most likely one is Code Geass, but that would be funny.
Yo, dude, imagine
having
pulling
nightmares
your
and
illusion,
deep
people.
That'd be awesome.
Oh, yo, I want it so much now.
But we got the clan sets. Sorry to cut you off, but yeah, we got the clan sets, and now looking at it, we're kind of shifting to almost less than a month with the Japan sets as well. Do you feel that we'll be on the same months and dates as Japan and all that in support as well?
So that's where I'm a little divided, because on one side I feel like Overdress would have been the perfect, if that was going to happen, the Overdress announcement would be the perfect time to do it. But at the same time, if they end up giving Japan a couple sets that we aren't going to get, because I think on our schedule I don't think we have any confirmation on Token Rambo and Monster Strike, but I could be wrong on that. Off the top of my head, I don't think we have any confirmed collaborations on that side. I think it's a good way for Japan to kind of, like I said earlier, fill in space for them while we get the extra sets. But I think the issue with that then becomes that it makes it very difficult to have what I think a lot of us want, which is a cooperative worlds. So to have a JP and global worlds. But I think the more we're going to have different sets, the more unlikely that's going to be. Unless we get a big reprint set. But I think in future it'll be interesting more to see, so if we are not going to be getting collabs, if we are, then cool. I'll probably be sitting those out, because I'm probably going to be sticking to the main clans, because there's very few collaborations that could interest me enough, I think, for me to personally make the jump. But what about you? What collab do you think you'll need to see in order to be yes, I'm building that? Yes, take my money, Bushiroad.
Well, I was really against Token Rambo back in the days, but now that I started the whole NaruSamurai thing, it kind of would be incorrect to not play a samurai clan. And since Token Rambo is close enough, I think that's what I'll be playing. I mean, it'll be kind of cool because it looks a lot like Demon Slayer too, the aesthetic of it. So I wouldn't be surprised if We put some Demon Slayer stuff, or Demon Slayer goes into Weiss, and then they have access to it, and they just mess around.
Because I think it'd be interesting. Actually, big brain, do you think we'll ever get a Weiss Schwartz collaboration?
Ooh. It'll be a 50 card deck, one character from every different anime.
Protag.deck. Freaking Protag decks. I'll be down for that. I'll buy it.
Yeah, it would just be like Kirito, Rias, Finn from Adventure Time, Finn. Then we have like Archer from Fate Stay Night. Like, it'll be the weirdest deck I've ever seen in my life. Also, the G Zone wouldn't make sense at all.
Gilgamesh, like the G Zone's just going to be a bunch of the waifus from Fate.
Yeah. I mean, then again, we're talking about standard, so it wouldn't be a G Zone. But
hey man, Simple-East. Let's go Simple-East. Let's go. Easy.
Oh man, it would be ridiculous. Not gonna lie.
Dude, the one thing, if we ever get VTuber collaborations in the main deck, and like in the main game, I'm raging. And people Bushiroad will not hear the end of me. Like, I'm just gonna say, like, why?
So yeah, this is getting a little bit like out of hand, but not not controversial standpoint. We have something that we don't know we needed or want in Vanguard, and that is the Overtrigger.
You mean you don't want 10 million power, bro? What do you mean?
Well, the problem is, anybody wants 10 million power, but does the game really need 10 million power? And also, how does this affect what we're going to be receiving?
I don't think the question is, does anybody want 10 million power? The answer is yes. The question, do you want your opponent to have 10 million power? The answer is no. Like, I don't know.
I don't think you want to get hit by 10 million power.
Like, I think that's the interesting part, because like, I think at the moment, I feel like we might be being a little too early to like have any like honest discussion about Overtriggers, solely because like, as of the recording of this video, we don't know anything about them besides that they exist. And I think a lot of people are kind of panicking over nothing at the moment, because people are like panicking about the game or about like these big numbers, but we have no context for them at the moment. We know you can have one per deck, we know that they have skills, but we don't know anything else about how they function. People are freaked out about premium. We don't know if, like, I think the biggest synergy people are scared of is Ultima. We don't know if that's going to be allowed.
Yeah, we don't know the Overtriggers D format only. Like, they haven't given us an announcement, but they are letting us panic, which is kind of weird.
Because I think we're due to get a bit more information in the next coming weeks. I think in the week or two, we're meant to, I think, get more information on Tuesday. Or so I think that's meant to be, what, the 26th, I think? 26th of January. We're due to get a bit more information about it. Of course, I'm sure both me and Naru will make our own like update videos when that does come out, like to keep you guys informed. Because not everybody has the time to watch the Bushy streams. But I think the interesting part with it is I think it will very much so depend on how it gets implemented. And I think the interesting thing to note is people are scared about the offensive creep, but the thing to keep in mind is, judging by the cards we've seen, there seems to be a decrease in shield value on a lot of cards.
Yeah.
So we've seen grade 0s and grade 1s with 5k shield, unless that is a mistake. But it feels like the main marketing material that they've constantly published has it. So I'd imagine that is actually going to be the values going forward. So it's going to be interesting if they ever do decide to try and shift it. Or if it just means that it might function a bit differently to the way we think triggers function. I think there's just a lot of question marks up in the air, at the moment at least.
Yeah, the Overtriggers seem kind of like insane to reveal right away without barely information, so we're just going on speculation. And that's like, the most worried thing that we think is like, oh, but this could mess up the card game, but at the same time, like, we don't even know what the other triggers are either.
Because like, I think the thing to keep in mind, though, is the thing that we do know, judging off the playmat, is we're keeping front triggers, we're keeping crits, we're keeping heals, we're keeping draws. So stands aren't coming back.
Tear.
Yeah, cry. We cry every time.
I love stands, man. They're great.
Or Watar is yet to return to us.
I understand. Yeah.
We believe, Chief. One day.
But this actually brings up a new thing with like new things coming in, old things going out, or like we're kind of finishing off the old things with like the Tetra Drive, Raging Form, and whatever we get later down the line. But as we go on further, we're kind of like leaving that whole nostalgia format, and like we're now going into more new stuff. What's your view on that? Like, do you like that we're getting no more retrains? Are you ready for new stuff, or do you want some old stuff to still return, like Dragonic Overlord, Blaster Blade,
Overlord the Nation, just him vaping? But like the thing is, so I think all of us are kind of fed up with pandering at the moment. But I think the thing people are missing, at least for the time being, I think the reason people are missing it is because we just had 3 years of pandering. Is the idea that, like, to me, I'm okay with pandering under like one condition or like one implementation, which is like if we still keep getting like once or twice a year, like a special set like we did with Vanguard or MLB. If we get something like that once or twice a year, that's just like a ready deck for like V maybe, that's like nostalgia pandering, I think I'll be cool with that as long as they keep it out of D era, at least for a couple of years. I think if they do a good job for like 2 to 3 years, I was saying to you guys, like my wet dream for this game is like us playing for like 2-3 years because we know that Messiah is asleep. It's if like the Void comes back over 2 years because I want more storytelling in terms of like the actual card mechanics and like card gameplay. So I'd like for the Void to make a comeback. Brandgate, pushes back. They're finally able to reawaken Messiah. Messiah wakes up with him. ZTB awakens. With it comes Chronovisor, who's able, because obviously Chronovisor being, because we actually failed to mention it the first time around, but obviously this is something you mentioned during our stream, when we were kind of watching the reveal, when you mentioned that because strides are from both the past and future, it'll be interesting to see potentially strides in the flesh, like either strides either before they reach the point where they are strides, or like after their peak, or see what happens beyond that. Because like despite the fact we see strides, we see them evolve, which means that might not be their final form. So like there might be even more beyond that. So for example, like we kept saying, like the main unit for Kita Sanctuary looks a little bit like an Aura Geyser-esque, like more like a purified Aura Geyser, or like his steed looks like something that like Mordred Phantom would wear, or like a Mordred Phantom would ride or something.
I mean, Bastion looks a lot like Gablade, but like that's just me.
Exactly. Like there's a lot of like different cards that kind of vaguely look like or remind us of, which I think is also fair because people are worried that like we see a Chaos and Photon-esque kind of design. But I think the thing that people have to keep in mind is in terms of the game's lore, with something that took place 3,000 years earlier, something as massive as like the destruction of Geese, of like a god basically, like two gods actually battling it out. I think it's inevitable that characters would hear that history and take like try and like carry on like put on the mantle and like carry on like inspired by like the ideology of former like heroes or like villains. And I think the interesting thing is like in a world where like everything unbinds and like ZTBs come back and potentially like Chronovisor comes back, because we know Chronojet is dead, but that doesn't mean all of like his like potential futures are dead, because the whole thing with strides, especially for Gear Chronicles, it kind of like exists in limbo almost, because they can travel through time, but they are themselves different instances in time, so paradoxes maybe don't work the way we think they do. So I think it'll be like super sick, because I can already see it, because maybe it's like because I've seen Endgame again recently. Like imagine a battle where like the Void shows up, right? And like Chronovisor like lands, and suddenly like he brings with him like everyone's.
The Void is like an outside entity, like sucks things in. It's kind of like the time zone where like everyone was hiding.
No, because like imagine, because the thing is like we've had to manifest in characters, like take control over characters, as they did with Link, Joker, and Brand, and obviously like Gize, for example. Like it corrupts things, right? So they have like representatives almost. So it's like it would be cool to have like an appearance, and it's suddenly like, ZB brings back almost like, I think this would be cool, right? I think this would have earned them, and I think everybody would be hype about this. And if you don't, let's say you won't be, you're lying. Imagine like you have an episode of the anime, right? Where like like Heritage shows up, or like Messiah shows up, right? And this big like gate opens up, and they basically go around, and in an attempt to like fend against the final battle, they bring back all of your favorite characters in their like peak of their power. So all the characters you have seen peak like show up even better. Like we're gonna get like a new Blaster Blade form, new Overlord, like MLB coming back, like new Descendant.
All right, so we're talking about. I think if you want to go back to my video and talk, EKo Here is trying to go and see where they're going to do the next reboot that they said they wouldn't do.
No, it's not a reboot. It wouldn't be a reboot. I'd love it. Because like my thing with pandering is I think they need to earn it. I think people will be happy with pandering so long as they earn it. So if they start yeeting new Blaster Blades at us like a year in, people are going to be like, oh, come on. But if like after like 2 years or like 2-3 years of them doing a good job, like through whatever means, like a new character comes up, or like old characters reappear, like special sets.
You bumps in and runs in school, and he bumps into this person. We don't see his face, and he hands him a Dragonic.
Hands him GBA. Hands him a fucking GBA card.
And it's it's Dragonic Overlord, and then the guy walks up, and like to us, it's Kai but we never know.
No, he just
Oh,
hangs
wait a
him.
minute. I've seen this scene before. It's the first episode of EKo
I was gonna say he shows up and hands him Wing Karibo.
Oh my god, can you imagine you just bumps into Kai and then he hands him the egg?
Bro, spoilers.
That's Wing Karibo.
Nah, Yu isn't actually a Vanguard protagonist. It's actually the newest Yu-Gi-Oh reboot.
I mean, he has you in the name.
He has two. He has two of them.
That means he's extra spicy.
Oh.
But yeah, as we like come in and you mentioned before to me like how does this change my channel? I guess I can say how does this change your channel? So I noticed that you've gone in and you've done some variety profiles on Luard, Aquaforce, and I think
Messianic boy, my
Messianic.
Boy,
you're right. That just came out. Might be.
Yeah, like I think the way I want to take it is like I want to keep obviously doing deck profiles for people. I'm thinking possibly based on what happens because like I want to, because obviously people who like mainly know me from Twitch, obviously at twitch.tv /EKo_CBG. Obviously link to mine and NaruSamurai streams will be in the description below. The thing to keep in mind though is like where that's my main base, I think there might be a bit of a push away from that as like things start opening up again, because I think more people will be more hyped for Overdress. But I kind of want to keep going there, and I want to keep working on like my retrospective series, because I've done a lot of interviews with like Solemn Vanguard, Vanguard Insider. I've done with Dexander. I want to get a few more people on. Obviously, like I want to potentially get Naru on. I want to get Top Deck Heroes on. I want to maybe get a couple special guests on.
Wait. You're saying I'm not on?
Yeah, I said you are. I said I'm going to bring you on at some point. I said I need to bring everybody on at some point. Like, we just basically I wanted to give people a jumping off point to like almost catch up to like the past 10 years of Vanguard and give people like a series they can watch of like when people started playing, what the game has evolved, what's like what was the game like throughout the years, not in terms of just like meta. I don't care what tops in worlds, like, because I think the main thing about card games is like the community you form and like the connections you make. So it's like being able to hear from people about like the cool things that have happened through the years that like made you bond with people, and like the stuff that kept you playing that will act like a great motivator and like a great like community anchor, which I want to keep working on. And it takes me forever to edit, but I hope to have like an episode released over the next like couple months, because oh my god, it's so much editing. Holy crap, it's so much work, my guy.
I get you. Like, I think after this video, not gonna lie, guys, in the background we've had several interruptions and several like mistakes already, and I'm like looking at it, I was like, man, I have to edit this video.
Because like I think the thing to keep in mind as well is I know in terms of like the future, I know you guys obviously you would have seen Cardfight Con over on the Winning Images YouTube channel. Obviously there'll be a link to that playlist below, which was like obviously is where me and NaruSamurai like first worked properly together. I know we did Juan Mango stream tournament once, but beyond that was like our first like big project together.
Man, this is almost the layout of how we did it in Juan Mango's.
Bro, I know, right? This basically is. But like the interesting thing is like, so beyond that, obviously as we were doing a lot of kind of interviews and panels with all of like your favorite Vanguard personalities, what really popped to mind is like we wanted to create like something for you guys to be able to come back to. Like we said, we wanted to create like an anchor in the community where like people can like visit it and like chill and know they can come, and like the thing that interests us, we wanted to let you guys meet the people behind the character, if that makes sense. So like instead of being like a blob of information every week that just like spouts videos out at you, like we wanted to create something that helps you both keep up with the game and get to know your community better. So
excuse me, my sir, are you talking about Fighters Collective?
Yes, in fact I am. So guys, there will be a link to it in the description for the Fighters Collective. Those of you who have seen Cardfight Con, you noticed that on both days, at the end of the day, we did a stream on my own and NaruSamurai's channels. And this was something we called the Fighters Collective, which is going to be our new podcast, which we'll be releasing on hopefully a weekly basis, starting with either start or mid-February. Obviously, more information will be available in the near future. We're looking to have news updates, just conversations. We're looking to have people over. I know we're already arranged to have a couple special guests on. We're looking to have people like, we've got Commander Jaime, potentially, Vanguard Insider, Top Deck Heroes, Winning Image, GD Plays Games, and a bunch of other people for you guys to meet them, get to know them, and just chill out with them.
So the way we're going to have it planned is we're going to announce where on Fighters Collective we're going to be on, who we're going to have on for that week, and we'll try to keep it like every week, let you know who the next person on will be at the end. So kind of similar to how Death Battle's announced their next Death Battle, we're going to announce our next guest star for you all to check out. But overall, the idea is just so that you guys can come in, meet us on Twitch, and you can ask questions that we can answer live with them as well.
Yeah, and so some will be live, some will be, because obviously not all the time people are able to do live, so some of them will be live, some will be uploaded to YouTube, all of them will be uploaded to YouTube in due time. But of course, some of them might be live, some of them might just be uploaded pre-recorded, but they will be same place, same time. Obviously, more information to come in the coming weeks. There will be a link to the YouTube channel, which we've already made below, as well as there's going to be a Twitter for it and a Twitch channel for it. And as soon as we have links for that available, those will also be in the description below. So I want to say, obviously, huge thanks to NaruSamurai for having me over and then coming over to mine, because I was gonna say like my house is your house, but then I realized if I say it wrong, I'm gonna look like a bit of a fucking clown. So I want to say thank you for having me on yours. Thank you very much for coming over to mine. And yeah, guys, make sure to check him out over at _NaruSamurai on Twitter, at NaruSamurai on YouTube, as well as at twitch.tv/NaruSamurai. And guys, obviously, as we did on Naru's, since you guys know we're both sponsored by Golden Phoenix Games, so with the new era of Vanguard coming in, we know a lot of you...
I gotta say that, right? Because you said it for me.
Right? All right. It's on you, buddy.
So, guys, if you guys don't know, we are sponsored by Golden Phoenix Games, and he did say NaruSamurai on my channel, so it's only fair to say use code EKo under checkout on your Golden Phoenix Games purchases of break sets or anything else. If you just want to get the starter deck, that's all available. Or you can use promo code EKo.
And yeah, this is just for people looking to kind of get into the game, because obviously we know there's been a massive influx of people looking to get into the game, so we want to give you guys something worthwhile.
So EKo, am I to assume this is a truce? We're done jumping on each other's thing?
For now. It depends which side you take in the war. Team Seto. I want to see #Team Seto in the comments. If that helps you sleep at night. But guys, again, thank you very much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed. Stay safe, take care, check out NaruSamurai, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.
Bye, guys.